Welcome to Commit Like a Boss. My name is Melissa Daphnis. We're here with Lisa Wechtenheiser. And welcome to our free workshop on global transformation. Why now is the best time to activate your inner brilliance. Hi, Lisa. Glad you're here with us today, too.
Hey, Melissa, I'm so excited to be able to share this with everybody. It's been brewing for a while. So you guys, we are so glad you're here with us today.
We are, and we have some very important stuff to talk about. But first, I'd like to introduce myself, and we'd like to both introduce ourselves. My name is Melissa Daphnis. You can call me Mel. Makes it a lot easier. I am a truth guide, a channel, an entrepreneur, speaker, and author, and an adventurer. And I have as my main thing in life, freedom. You call it my main thing. And I want to help, I'm committed to help people find their freedom and to live a life that is their true life, that is the best life for them and to be their best self. Lisa, how about telling us a little bit about you?
Well, I'm Lisa Wechtenheiser, the one with the last name no one can pronounce, so don't even really bother. I am a stellar, if I may say so, channel to the divine and tiny little purple rock stars. If you know, you know. I am a very practical intuitive, and I am a business mentor. I love working with people, helping them tune into what they already know is true, because I really believe that you know at the very core of your being what it is you want, what it is you need, and I really help you remember that you know.
Very good. And the combination of Lisa's magic, which is trust, you know that you know, and she helps you remember, and my magic, which is freedom, equals the magic of us. We both believe in the same core things, but we come to them from different perspectives. And having two different people with different perspectives is, I think, what is so magical about our combination, that we can present things with differing thoughts, but in the same way. I don't even know how to say the magic of us. It's what we're talking about is really what your inner brilliance is. You know, my brilliance is freedom, her brilliance is trust, and it adds all of that together. What do you think, Lisa, the magic of us, what makes it so
well, Melissa and I have been friends for many, many, many years. We met at a Reiki share a long time ago, and we've played with each other in and out, and then in the last year, we began to see how our brilliance could play together. And so we committed to 90 days. It was 90 days of showing up on Facebook in our group to really just see what would happen if we truly committed to just one thing. And this was born out of that commitment, also global transformation, but mostly the commitment. And so Melissa brings that beautiful energy of freedom, whatever that freedom means to you. And mine is trusting yourself, which I think if you kind of look at it, they really play well together, because I think you need to have all of that. You can't truly be free if you don't trust your inner knowing.
Yes, and when we decided to commit to each other and to showing up for other people, that's where the name Commit Like a Boss came from. Because whenever you try or set out on any endeavor, no matter what it is, if it's personal, if it's business, no matter what it is, the first thing that you have to do in order to be successful is commit to it. And we really want to back that commitment up and help you to stay committed to yourself, whatever your endeavor may be, whether it's personal, business, or anything in between. Commitment, I think, is the most important thing. So today we are talking about global transformation, and it is upon us.
Have you noticed? Have you noticed?
I love this picture because it's almost like the coronavirus. It's going everywhere.
Yeah. Well, and it is the first true thing, and this came from Carolyn Mace, the wonderful teacher Carolyn Mace, that the entire globe is going through at the same time. She pointed out that in the past there have been world wars and whatever, but it was always kind of over there, and the impact on us was not as direct. Us being the United States in this case was not direct. This is the first time that around the globe, right, from China to Italy to the United States, Russia, wherever, we are all dealing with the same thing. And that should tell you how transformative this really is.
Yes. One of the messages, or a few of the messages that I've just been able to channel, talks about the transformation on all of the levels. It's on a personal level, it's on a physical level, it's on a mental level. And this is with everybody in the world. Even the most remote places feel this one way or another, even if it's economic or financial or spiritual, whatever it is. This transformation is not just about the pandemic that's going on right now, just not just about the coronavirus. This is a global transformation involving every living thing and every living system, from the smog and the pollution lowering to the animals not being hunted as much. I mean, there is just so many levels here. And we're going to talk about what that means for us in just a minute. Let me go ahead and click to the next slide. And Lisa, go ahead and talk about the energies of global transformation and how that affects unleashing your inner brilliance.
Yeah, well, here's the deal. If you guys have ever been to an event, an in-person live event, like a personal transformation event, you know that you go there and everybody's focused on the same thing and everybody's like excited and the potential feels huge. Like you take a million notes and you get all these ideas and it feels like, whoa, I'm going to go home and I'm going to rock this out. So you go home with all of your notes and your joy and everything, and before you know it, nothing happens, and you're back to where you were, and you're like, what happened in that space that's not happening here? And the answer to that is that you left a vibration that you exist in, okay, and you went to a different space, and in that vibration was that beautiful potential. Okay, so you took your high vibration and all your ideas and you brought them home back to this, right? So this is now dragged back to this, if that makes any sense, right? The energy comes back to where you were. So in order to sustain that change, right? Like let's say you come home from the event, you have to keep moving through the noise that change kicks up within your family, within yourself, right? So let's say you come home with a million great ideas and your partner says, I don't know what you're thinking about. That is never going to work. And you're like, but I thought it would, right? Boom, back down to that vibration, right? But if you say, I know it might sound kind of crazy, I'm going to do it anyway, just to see what happens, then you stayed on your vibration of possibilities and you keep moving. You need to continue moving through the noise and the dust. It's not very far, right? So that you move up to that higher vibration and that becomes your norm. And then things can rise to where you are. Instead of you falling back down, things rise up to where you are. And that happens whenever you make a shift in your life, that you have to sustain that for things to move up with you, or you're going to get pulled back down, especially empaths. There are empaths who can move very easily between the energies. So if you walk into a room and the energy is kind of crap, it's easier to go down to crap than to hold the higher vibration. And that's the same thing here, okay? So the universe has kicked up the dust for you, right? Like all of the dust is swirling. We are in this huge time of change where we don't even know what's coming next. We know that what's gone is gone and that normal is not coming back. It's not coming back. In case you didn't know that, it's not coming back. Okay, great. So here we are in that middle space, right? So we need to use that transformative energy, right? The dust that's already been kicked up for us to go to that higher vibration. And when we talk about the higher vibration, what we're really talking about is what is your brilliance? And we'll talk a little bit more about that. But what is your brilliance? And now is the time to kick up your own dust, so that as you come out the end of this, whatever that end looks like, you'll have done that work along with the world. Does that make sense, Melissa?
Yeah, it does. And we're going to talk about the comfort zone in just a minute. I know we have another slide about that. But when you were saying that, it conjured up an image that I had talked about before, which is a wave, a huge wave crashing over the earth. The wave right now is the coronavirus. It is crashing over the earth. And you can either ride that wave, which is a little scary and a little beyond your comfort zone. You can get swallowed up by that wave. And if you've ever been swimming in waves and you've gotten knocked over by a big wave, you know what that feels like. Or you can sit on the sidelines and try to watch the wave go by and change everything and stay in your comfort zone and try not to change, but everything else is going to change in front of you. So what we're saying is now is the time to ride that wave and to move with the energy changes. And I think it's just a perfect time to do that, and a perfect time to bring out your inner brilliance.
Yes, that wave analogy is perfect.
Let's talk about your inner brilliance, your brilliance. I sometimes call it your magic. It's so hard to quantify, like what exactly is that? Lisa, tell us a little bit about what that is and
Yeah.
how it works.
One of the questions I get the most when I'm doing intuitive readings with my clients is, what's my purpose? What am I here to do? Everyone wants to know that. And it kind of makes me giggle because it's right in front of you, but you don't see it as that. And that's why we call it your brilliance, right? Because it is an expression of your purpose. So your brilliance is the thing that you do so naturally that it's like breathing. There are a couple of things I can do like that. One is connect with guides and teachers on the other side. I don't know where I learned that. I have no idea. I'm sure it was other lives. But the thing is, it was so natural to me. I grew up thinking, well, everyone does that. And I remember I was teaching some students how to do that. And I was like, well, just talk to your guides. Just see what you hear. And they're like, we don't hear anything. We don't like, and it was the first time I really got like, what? Really? And so that's when I learned, oh, not everybody can do this, right? So another thing I can do like breathing is writing. And I remember watching my mother labor over a thank you note. And I was like, what is your deal? How hard is that? For her, it really was. For me, it's like, nothing. I can write a beautiful thank you note in 3 seconds. So those are things that you take for granted that really are who you are. That is a part, it is an expression of your purpose. So if I look at part of my purpose is communication. And you can look at your natal chart. If you've ever had your natal chart done in astrology, it will tell you a whole lot. And I have like 3 million planets in the house of communication. So not surprising that I am an intuitive who talks and channels guides and teachers, who writes, who speaks, who does all of those things that are connected to communication. So it's the thing that you do that's almost like breathing, so as you're sitting here listening to us, maybe think about those things that come very easily to you. Like, Melissa, what are those things that come easily to you?
Well, I did not realize what it was. And I had started channeling, and then I backed off from it, and I was getting messages, and I would just write them down in my journal. And I actually decided, I kind of got a channeled message one time, and my guide said, you need to put this out there. So I was like, oh, gee, that's really out of my comfort zone. I really don't want to do that. But I hear things, I channel things. So I started doing that, and I started putting videos out. And some of my closest friends are like, well, duh, that's so you. And I'm like, really? I think that's like so far from me. But everybody's like, duh, this is so you, and it fits you so well. And I'm like, really? You don't even see it. It's right. It's like it's that sticky note that's stuck on your forehead. Yep. That you're going, I can't see it. I can't see it because it's right here.
Right.
So sometimes it's hard to see. And that's one of the things that we're here to do, is to help people to find out what that is. I love that it's written here, your brilliance is an expression of your purpose. It's not necessarily a purpose, it's an expression of your purpose.
Mm-hmm.
So
like if you're a teacher, like if you teach, like, and that's also part of my thing, but that's also part of communication, right? You could teach first grade, you could teach spiritual principles, you can teach 3 people in your backyard on a Thursday, right? That is how you are expressing that urge to teach and to share ideas. The second bullet point here is it's what calls you forward and asks you to expand and grow. And that's what Melissa was just saying about her guides and teachers told her, you need to get out there. Well, that was out of her comfort zone. right? And so she really had to think twice about that, but that called her to expand and to grow. And when I first realized that I could channel Prince, the Prince, I was terrified. I was terrified to tell people and to do it. And I knew that it would call me out in a much bigger way than I had ever done before. And it did, and it continues to do that. So this piece, this expression of your purpose, not only is like what you're doing is breathing, but then how you work with it is going to help you expand and grow. And it speaks through your inner knowing. So like Melissa got the message from her guides and teachers. No one told her, because no one can tell you. You have to know it.
Yep.
You have to know it yourself. And so that's how it speaks to you. It's that urge that calls you forward. Like, you know, if you were a kid and you always, okay, so here's an example. My cousin's son grew up watching the Weather Channel like it was going out of style. You would always find him in front of the Weather Channel. And we were all like, what's wrong with your kid? All he does is watch the Weather Channel. Yes, he is now a twice PhD and works for NASA in their weather climate change division, like doing big things, right? He knew at 3 years old that passion called him forward. He knew that, right? How do you know at 3 years old? You don't, but you notice the patterns,
Yep.
right?
Yeah, your intuition, like you say, your inner knowing knows. And the reason that Lisa and I are here doing this workshop and helping people to bring up their inner brilliance is because we know that not everybody is following their inner brilliance. I know I wasn't. I was trying to find my way. And, you know, these things come up. So we've walked the path before you. We've done the hard way and figured it out. And now we're trying to help people to get from where they are to where they really want to be. I know that a lot of people are doing things that aren't true to themselves. Like Lisa, you're talking about truth and being true to yourself and trusting. And a lot of people are not where they want to be. And what we're saying in this whole workshop, the whole basis for this workshop is because things are stirred up now. Now is the time to reach out and grab that and take it and go with it.
Yep. And one more important point, you can express your brilliance in a million different ways, and maybe none of them have to do with how you create a living. Okay, so my cousin's son creates a living by expressing his brilliance in a particular way. That's awesome. A lot of people do that, but not everyone. So when I tell you it's not the only way you can express it, trust that and know that, because that lets a lot of people off the hook. If you work at a food store in the checkout line and you greet people every day, that can be an expression of your purpose, right? Maybe you're the funny face, the sunny face, whatever kind of face. You have a joyful face that you greet people coming through the line, and maybe that's what your brilliance is letting people know there's joy. Right? That could well be, and that's an expression of that, but it doesn't have to be. You can bring it forward in a whole bunch of different ways. So don't make the mistake of tying your brilliance to how you create an income. You can, but it's not a given, and it's not always the right way for you.
Yep. Some people, their brilliance is their hobby. Some people, their brilliance is, some people, it can be being a mother. You know,
Mm-hmm.
you may have a job that makes you the money to pay the bills, but your brilliance, your love, your driving desire every day is your kids. I mean, you know, and it doesn't mean if you're a mother and that's not your driving, because if you have other things, but it can be so many different things. There's no right or wrong answers here. There's no, it has to be this or it has to be that. It is what it is.
That's right. That's right.
All right, let's go on. Okay, why is this important now? We were kind of talking about that a little bit. So what, let me move
Well,
on.
if you look at the picture there, I chose that because it can feel like we are all climbing up the side of a mountain right now. You can't go out, And all of like all the stores, except for Amazon, bless you, Amazon, all the stores are closed. They have to be. We can't eat out. We can't do our hobbies. We can't do anything but be in the house, right, as best we can. And there are people who obviously cannot stay home, bless them as well. But this is the piece that right now, everything's been thrown up into the air. Remember the card game 52 pickup, right? Where somebody would throw all the cards in the air and you'd have to pick them up. Well, we're in the process of picking up the cards and then putting the cards in order. Well, right now, the cards are still on the floor. More cards are coming, right? And so it feels like we're in limbo. I thought this was a term everyone knew. Apparently it's from Catholic terminology. Limbo is like, this is the way they taught it. Here's heaven, here's hell, here's this middle space that's neither heaven nor hell. It's just limbo. You're just hanging out in that space. That's where we are. And we are waiting for the universe to go, okay, now we're all going to move. And that could be now, it could be months from now. We have no idea. Okay. So our routines have been disrupted in a huge way. Okay. And we're stepping into the unknown. That's why it's important now, when you have the time, hopefully, to look inward and look at these things. Because when we emerge from this, and I just heard this from an astrologer this morning and I had to laugh because I was like, yes, we know. He said, what's going to happen is that from this period of looking inward and looking at what is important to me. Is it important that I'm running my kids to 5 different ball games every day and I have no time for myself, right? Why? When you take all of the distraction away, what you're left with is, what do I really want to do? Who am I really? Right? What is mine to do? Melissa and I love this question. What is mine to do in this world? Why am I here? Right.
Not only now as things are all kicked up and there is the transformation is happening around us. And what we're talking about is now it's like, it goes back to that wave, like jump on the wave and ride it and use the energies, the changing frequencies to change your own frequency in your own way. It doesn't have to be, you don't have to go out, and I said this before, you don't have to go out and be Mother Teresa, you know, and help everybody in the world. It can just be on your own personal level, no matter if it's just learning or showing a little more gratitude every day, to doing something completely different that you're calling in life. There's so many different levels, but now while things are changing is the time to start moving with all of that.
And I think that goes against common sense, because if you're in the middle of chaos, right, then your work has been thought of as, let's get everything to calm down. Let's get it all to calm down. Make it go back to the way it was. But when you understand that there's no back, and there's only this dustful moment that we are all in together, then your choice can be, you know, do I kick up my own dust so that all the dust is swirling, and then when the dust settles, my dust and the world's dust will settle and we can see more clearly? Or do you stand there with your hands over your eyes? No, right? I just wanted to come back. You know, this is an opportunity, as Melissa says, to ride that wave.
Yep. And I think that everybody who's here with us on this, watching this video and this workshop right now is ready to ride that wave.
Yeah.
That's why they're here.
Yeah.
All right. Uh-oh. This is where people get stuck. Why is that?
Yep. So Danielle Agnew, she's a psychic teacher. She's been very, very ahead of this whole curve. She was talking about this at the middle of last year. And so I heard her say, we put off engaging with our greatest purpose because we know it will change our life forever. Right? And that is scary. I distinctly remember standing at my back window, looking out of my backyard and saying to my husband, oh my God, what if I tell people that I channel Prince and they say, oh my God, you are completely insane. Mm-hmm. And he said to me, such wise words, honey, they kind of already do. And I was like, that's true, they do. Yay. And then I went forward. So in that moment where I knew my life would change, and I knew that I would be judged by people for sharing what is true for me, I chose to go forward. Right? I had an opportunity to say no. I could have said to Prince, like, bye. I did when he first came to me. And then I was like, oh no, I'm going to come back. But that's the thing, is that, you know, when you fully step into this, right? You can baby step your way into it. But when you fully step into it, you have changed. Your life will change. And a lot of people are not ready for their lives to be changed. But that's why now is the perfect time, because everything has changed. Join in, right? Ride that change wave.
Yep. And it is there. Your purpose, your greatest purpose, your inner brilliance, your magic, it is there. It is within you. It is who you are. It is who you were born on this planet to be. And it's there. And you can decide. You have the free will. You have choice. You always have choice. You can take it slow and you can move toward it slowly. You can jump into it with both feet. You can look at it and go, okay, it's there, but I'm going to stay over here. You have free will and free choice. What we're here to help you with is to understand what your inner brilliance is, and to be able to activate it, and to be able to make whatever changes you want to make on whatever level and whatever speed you want to make.
Right.
That's the basis of everything we're talking about. But it is true. For me, it was the same thing. You know, I started doing videos of these messages I got in my journal, and I'm like, well, I call them messages through Mel. It's the collective. I call them the collective. And they talk through me, and I'm like, oh, I never would have said that. You know, it surprises me when I write. And I started putting those videos out, and I'm like, oh my God, people are going to think I'm a lunatic or whatever. And it's really not that bad. It's usually never as bad as we think it's going to be. You know, like they're not, I thought they were going to come and haul me off to the funny farm or something, because it was so out of my comfort zone.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, I took little steps at first. You know, I wrote in my journal, and then I read it, and it's still a work in progress. It will be for the rest of our lives when we do that. So I guess that's the most important thing about that, is it's change, it's scary, and you know it's there, and it is there whether you.
But here's the thing. Let me say this, and I think Melissa can attest to it. When you do that, when you say to the universe, okay, I'm going to take a step out, the universe comes to meet you. Right?
Yeah.
So my work with Prince was not done in a vacuum. First of all, I had Prince. But second of all, when I said yes to that, then amazing people and opportunities and potentials showed up. And I became a different version, a better version of myself. Right? I expanded and I grew in so many ways. I cannot even begin to tell you. So when you say yes, at whatever level yes is for you, okay, so it doesn't have to be jumping off a mountain, whatever that is, know that the universe meets you and says, yes, all right, I got you, let's go. That doesn't mean it's always going to be easy. I got a bunch of stuff from people who are like, no, you don't really talk to Prince, and you're making it up, and you're using his name for money, and you know, what could I say? Prince told me to do it. Like, that would be a perfect answer of somebody who's making it up, right? Prince told me to do it. But here's the thing. I saw firsthand things change and shift that I couldn't even imagine were available to me, because I said yes, and I engaged with it on the level that I chose to. So it will change your life forever, it's true. But what if that's like really awesome change? What if that is the change you've been waiting for? You don't know until you get in there. You don't know.
And here's all the proof you need. That change and following that inner brilliance and that purpose led Lisa and I right here, right now, to doing this workshop and this video. And it also led you right here, right now, watching it. Mm-hmm. So you are already following the breadcrumbs. We are following the breadcrumbs. Yep. And that's all the proof. That's all the proof that I need. I know that it's led us right where we are today.
Yep. Yep, that's true.
Right. Let's see. Okay. let's talk about time for a change, the
Yeah.
topic of our next video. So that wraps it up for this first video where we talked about your inner brilliance, why now is the time, why this is the perfect opportunity for you to get on that wave and to start riding it. You can ride it at your own pace, not a problem. What are we going to be talking about in the next video, Lisa?
Well, we're going to talk about why that change is hard, like I said, because you're coming up against the vibration. And so what does it take for you to keep going through that, right? Like the spouse who said, no, that idea will never work. What does it take for you to stand in your inner knowing, even when everything around you is saying, no, don't do that, don't, right? We're going to talk about what that really takes. And it's not hard, but you do need to know it ahead of time, I think.
Yep. We're also going to talk about how to figure out what your inner brilliance is, a little bit more about specifically how to pinpoint that. Because like I said, it's that sticky note on your forehead. You don't always see what it is. And we have a worksheet that goes along with this video in particular that's going to help you find, kind of ask you some questions right about your purpose. Lisa, you know a little bit more about the worksheet that we have down below.
Right. The worksheet just guides you to see the patterns that you might not be seeing. So when you complete it, you will have more clarity. You may not know your exact purpose or your brilliance yet, but you will have a lot more clarity around those things.
Cool. And then once we get through that, we're going to talk about on the third day, we're going to have a pretty big training workshop going on where we actually talk about how to activate your inner brilliance. That's the good one. So today we talked about why it's important, gave you a little review of who we are and why we're here, and probably, hopefully, why you're here. Then we're going to talk about what it is and why it's the time to change into it. We're going to talk about activating it. And then we'll go on with that with some review and some questions. So this is going to be a really exciting week. I'm really excited to do these videos and to get out there with people. And like I said, on day 5, we're going to have a live question and answer session right here. Well, wherever we're going to be, we'll figure that out and let you guys know. We don't know yet, but we'll have a question and answer session and be able to answer your specific questions about all of this. Cool. Thank you for being here today. Thank you, Lisa. This has been,
yay! I'm so excited. I'm so excited to share this with you guys.
It is exciting. So, it is.
Yeah, we are very happy to put this out. I will tell you that we have both been like shoved hard to put this out now. Like both of us, you know, separately. Like our guides are like, go, 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 go. So we are going, hopefully with you.
Yep. We will see you back again for day 2. Thank you for being here. Have a good one.
Bye, guys.